Hey everyone, this is Adam. Let's get right into the show. Hello everyone, welcome back to the podcast by Adam Rippon. I am Adam Rippon. It's good to be here, good to be back. Now, I want to start off today's show with, how do I say this? An apology. With a public service announcement apology. And this is it. I'm just going to go right into it. Why should I wait? The apology is, I believe that maybe I have been going a bit overboard with the sound effects. And I want to apologize for that. But I'm not sorry, right? Like I want you to know I'm not sorry, but I do apologize. And I want you to know where I was coming from. And I want you to know that I was getting a little sound effect happy, bell happy. But it just, sometimes the bells just sound so good to me. But I do realize that I have been going overboard with them when I realized I had downloaded, I don't know, maybe 200 different bell sounds and ding noises. So, yeah, I know that I can do better, right? But I also want to remind you I can do worse. So, it's a moment of just accepting where we are and knowing that things will improve. The bells aren't going to go away, and the whistles aren't going to go away, the bells and the whistles. But this is what I will say. I will say that I will use the sounds as transitional noises to go from one subject to the next. I will use a bell when it's needed, like right here, or right here, and here, and one here. And other than that, I'll cool it. Because I did listen to one of the episodes that I did make, because I am making them. I'm starring in them, but I'm also making them. And I went, that's a lot of noise coming from not just me, but from the computer. And it made me think, maybe this is too many noises, too much noise. And so I think that I'm going to start to cool it on the soundboard a little bit. And this came in the form of a comment. And it said, just some constructive criticism. You could do less bells. And I'll be honest, my first reaction to that comment was, what do they fucking know? And then my second reaction was, well, let me listen. And then my third reaction was, maybe they're right. So I want you to know I'm stubborn, but I'm also open to growth. Yeah, open to growth. And like I said, I am not sorry, Belle. But I am apologizing. Now, would it be a good time for a transitional sound effect to get to the next subject? See, it does work in that capacity. All right, now, the next thing I want to talk about is I did something this week that I've never done before because I thought it was intense. I thought it was crazy. I didn't know if I could do it, but I did do it. And I'm going to tell you that the hype around it is absolutely so real. And it's I meal prepped. Now, what does that mean? That means that I made a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every day of this week, Monday through Friday. Okay. And I put it in like a little deli cup and I put that in the refrigerator. And I need to tell you that it's one of the greatest, best ideas I've ever had in my entire life. It has completely changed the game for me. I will be doing this absolutely all the time. The reason I started doing this is because I had a vision that I just should meal prep. I don't know why. I just had a vision and I said, okay, I'm going to do it this week. But in this vision, I was doing it in these deli cups, right? 8 ounce, 16 ounce, 32 ounce. Do you know what I'm talking about? You get them at like a deli cup. And it was just in my mind, I had to do it in these deli cups. So I said, I have to get the deli cups. And so I was thinking about where I could get them, and just something about the pricing of them felt off. Like I looked on Amazon. I've been doing my best to not order anything off Amazon, which I've done, I will say, superb work at. But I was looking on Amazon to see, and just the pricing didn't seem right. It was like too high for too low of a number. I don't remember exactly what it was. It doesn't matter. Just, you got to believe me. You got to trust me on this. And I thought, well, okay, well, like, where else can you get them? And I was just having a hard time finding the ones that I was trying to look for. Nothing seemed right. And so I started doing a little online searching of where I could get them. And I came to the conclusion I could get them at a restaurant supply store. So I wanted to see what was near me. And I didn't realize I live right by a restaurant depot. Now, if you've ever heard or if you've ever been to a restaurant depot, then you know what it is already. But what I'm about to do is for the people who don't know what it is. It is basically a restaurant supply store. And maybe you came to that conclusion when I said I was looking for a restaurant supply store and then I found one named Restaurant Depot. But maybe you didn't. Now, inside a restaurant depot are all of the accoutrements one could need to run a restaurant or a small business. And things are much cheaper than they would be at like a Target or Amazon even. But remember, it's for a restaurant, so things are in bulk. So I did find the deli cups I was looking for. I want you to know that. I found them. But I also want you to know that I could only buy them in grosses of 300. And in this vision, I did have all three sizes, 8, 16, and 32 ounces. So there was really sort of no flexibility I had on this. I did have to buy 900 deli cups. So I do have 900 of them. I will not be kind of going through these anytime soon. Was it worth it? 100 absolutely % yes. Would I do it again? I would do it again. I really don't need to do it again for a very long time because I do, as I have said, have 900 of them. But I wouldn't change a thing because my meal prepping has been unbelievably successful. I do feel like I need to kind of come clean about my eating habits. They're bad. And actually, I'm going to put a disclaimer on that. They were bad because now I'm an absolute new person. I meal prep. I prep my meals and I use deli cups. And that is a really important, crucial sort of piece of information about who I am and where I stand politically and economically. But I wasn't always like this. I was sort of a person who would every now and then have breakfast, but mostly skip it. And then just be kind of too lazy to make a lunch. So I would just kind of skip that too. And then I would wonder why I would be in a complete brain fog with a pounding headache every day around 4:30. And I think it was because I wasn't eating. Even though I was giving myself the excuse of I'm intermittent fasting, which isn't a real thing. I'm sorry. If you believe in intermittent fasting, that's amazing, but it's not a real thing. I just don't think that it's a real thing. I think fasting is real, but fasting a little bit is fake. And it just means that you didn't eat breakfast. And I'm telling you, I feel so much better eating throughout the day rather than just skipping all my meals and then eating a ton of fucking shit at the end of the night. So basically, long story short, I'm a meal prepper now. So, and I'm never going to go back. I really never will go back. I will say I was spending maybe 5 or 6 hours in the kitchen on Sunday, and I kept thinking to myself, okay, if this doesn't work, I've wasted 6 hours, but it did work. And God, it's one of the best things I've ever done. It's one of the best things I've ever done. I'll never, ever go back. I can't. So that's that on that. Transition noise. The next thing I want to talk about, actually, really quickly before I talk about the next thing, I'm just going to say a word and I'm going to shake my head. Mel Robbins. I just don't. It's not for me. Okay, transition noise. Great. Now I want to talk about something. So there was a lot of talk that I had seen about the new Meghan Markle, aka Meghan Sussex show on Netflix. And a lot of people were really giving her a hard time about kind of everything that she did on this show. And I want to go on the record and I want to say that I think people who are so viscerally against Meghan are weird. I think it's weird. And I think that it's not so much that you don't like Meghan, it's that you don't like fun. You don't like theatrics. Because my girl Meghan is theatrical. One of the things, and I'll kind of go through everything that I saw people complaining about. One of the things I saw people complaining about was, I think the first thing was when she corrected Mindy Kaling about her name. Okay. First, she changed her name. So what do you want her to do? Right? And if you were her and your monster fucking dad was selling you out and his last name was Markle, I'd be dropping it too. And then your husband's last name is Mountbatten Windsor? Sorry, absolutely not. Because you might not like Markle, but Meghan Markle is such a fun, rolls right off the tongue name. You can't go from Meghan Markle to Meghan Mountbatten Windsor. No, you've got to sit down with your spouse and you got to workshop something and create something that's your own. Sussex, great, love it. So they have their own last name. That's not really their last name. Well, no fucking shit. So I know some people were like, I don't like the way that she told Mindy. Well, get over it. She didn't tell Mindy to go fuck herself. She just told her that she changed her name, for God's sake. Next, people didn't like that she was laughing that she was wearing Zara. Okay. This is where I need to sit down with you. I need to hold your hand and I need to say to your face, she's laughing that she's wearing Zara because she has $50 million and she's wearing $20 pants. That's hilarious. And the thing is, Meghan is funny to me in a way that she doesn't realize that she is funny, right? Because in the beginning of this series, she's at her beehive and she sees that the bees are working and she looks at the camera and she goes, busy bees. And this was a moment where I feel like we all need to remember she's a nerd, right? Like she's not funny, but she's funny to me because I like her. I like a little bit of fun. And I'm going to tell you where I loved like the theatrics of Meghan Sussex and where I go, no, that's my Meghan. And this is where like I get it and maybe you don't. If you remember in the Meghan and Harry doc that they produced on Netflix, there's a moment where she's holding her baby and there is what looks like to me a Getty image of Princess Diana, right? Like above the crib. And she's holding her baby. It's a photo I've seen before because do you want to know where I've seen that photo before and why you're getting mad? Because I've seen that photo hanging on my grandma's refrigerator. on your grandma's refrigerator with your grandma's family photos. Because in the 90s, Princess Diana was the people's princess. So you're mad that you've seen that Getty image before mixed with your own family photos. But the only difference is that when Meghan sees that photo and she's holding her baby, she goes, "That's your grandma," right? And the difference is it was your grandma clipping that photo out of the New York Times, putting it with her family photos. And so that it's confusing your own reality. And some people just go, "This makes me so mad. It makes me so mad." Well, relax. People getting so mad she put pretzels from one bag into another bag. Well, she never said she was Martha Stewart. Because we all saw the Martha Stewart doc. Let me tell you, if Martha Stewart was in that kitchen and she saw Meghan cutting things up with that paring knife, Martha Stewart would take that girl outside, say, "Turn the cameras off," and slap her across the face and hand her a real adult-size knife to cut things. And that's why Meghan did not have Martha over. Because Meghan is doing crafts like all of us. The only difference is that she has much, much, much more money than all of us. And so, who cares? Why are you so bothered? I saw a video of these women in really dirty, stained t-shirts watching this new Meghan show on Netflix, pausing it every 2 seconds, going, "Oh, well, I really don't like that." Who cares? Let her just make the beeswax candles. Is she a professional chef? No. Is she a professional homemaker? No. Is she just a rich lady who I actually think is a nice person? Yes. Do you not like you just don't like that she changed her name? And I know somebody's going to give me some detailed explanation, but I really don't like when she did. I'm going to tell you, I don't care. I'm not listening. I'm not listening. Go write an email and send it to somebody who cares. Send it to your representative. Maybe they'll do something about it. They won't, because they're trying to shut down the government. There are such bigger fish to fry. And another thing, you don't live anywhere near Santa Barbara, so you're never going to run into her. You are so worried about her. Give my Meghan a break. And I want to go on the road. I don't think she's cool. I think she's a big old fucking nerd. But I think you're a big old fucking bitter bitch. I don't have a problem with her. And you shouldn't either. Watching that Meghan Markle show is like watching, I don't know if you'll know what I'm talking about, but when I was younger, I had younger siblings who loved to watch this show, Little Bear. Little Bear is basically this cartoon that's just like ASMR. Nothing happens, right? Like, it's so classical music is playing. It's just like soft, nice background, beautiful stuff in the background. And that's sort of what this Meghan show is. It's just nice. She's very pretty and it's pleasant. It's whatever. You're just so overstimulated by the bells and the whistles, which I have been a huge problem and part of, like I realize like I'm part of the reason why you are overstimulated and why when you watch something that's a bit more easygoing, you're going, "Well, where is the bells?" And it's because I personally, have sort of oversaturated the market of sound effects and just overdoing it. And I know that. And I apologize. Now I am sorry when I've had more time to think about what I've done. Because now I'm thinking about it. I was not thinking about it before. I was still sort of in a defensive place, even when I hit record a few minutes ago. But now I am sort of in a more reflective place, thinking I could have done better. I could have. And it's on me, and I forgive me. I hope you'll forgive me too. Let's get into some voicemails.
Please leave your message after the tone.
I just want to know what in the hell do you do to your skin? It looks like a baby's ass. It is so smooth and like glowing and beautiful. I know you said you do red light. I do red light, and it sure as hell doesn't look like your face.
I would love to share what I do with and for my skin. Now, it's been a journey with my skin because, as I've mentioned before, I think it was even last week, spent a lot of time in those tanning booths and beds. A lot of time in them. But let me say this. I do red light. Yes, just be consistent with it, right? Another thing is we really don't see the progress that we're making because we see our own faces every day. I know. And when you look back at pictures, that's kind of when you'll see some more results. But when you're just really super over analyzing it every day, you're not going to see it, right? Maybe you'll see it a little bit, but it will be less dramatic because you're seeing the same face every single day. Now, I used to do a ton of different things, and I used to get a ton of different products and blah, 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 blah. Now, I will be so honest and real with you. And to do that, I have to be honest and I have to be real. So I'm going to say this. On the day-to-day, what am I doing? I am washing my face and I am using CeraVe to do that. Okay? Actually, I'm going to back up even more. There are 2 tiers of products out there. Over-the-counter and prescription. If something is over-the-counter, it is no better than anything else that is over-the-counter. If something is a prescription, that's when we're getting into the real magic. But when it comes to a moisturizer or a cleanser, some can be more stripping or have harsher ingredients in them. But none is going to be any more effective than the other. I know some people will go, well, I swear by this product and it's blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. You swear by it. I don't give a fucking shit. So before I continue, I just want you to remember there are just 2 tiers of products: over-the-counter, prescription. So that being said, a face wash is a face wash, right? It's like hand soap. Soft soap, pumped out hand soap, which is $1 at the store, is absolutely just as effective as Aesop soap. That's $40. Only the Aesop smells a little bit more like garden and dirt. How do I know that? I own the Aesop soap, but I have to be real with myself. And like I said, I have to be honest. I promised I would be honest. It's no better than Dial. It's no better than soft soap that is in the clear bottle with the fish in the background or with the dolphin sticker in the front. It's absolutely no better. My hands aren't any cleaner. It's all the same thing. You're being duped and marketed, and sometimes it's worth it to be tricked because I love the way that Aesop bottle of soap looks on the sink. I think it looks elegant and it looks beautiful. And the soft soap really does leave the viewer with something to be desired because there's only so many times you can go, yeah, my soap is the ocean and I love it. No, like, can you just make it cleaner? Like, make the branding better. And they don't want to do that. And so that's why I will pay $38 extra for soap because they just don't have the branding correct. Now, moving on. So when it comes to a face wash, I just use CeraVe. It's dermatologist recommended. Now, a dermatologist is a doctor of skin who went to school to be a doctor. Just remember that. They're the ones recommending this. They're dermatologists, okay? I'm going to be a bit scattered, but it'll all come together in the end. I'm going to skip over to moisturizer for a second. Now, I have used La Mer before. And La Mer, I liked to use it. It was nice. The packaging is beautiful, but the moisturizer is just lotion, okay? It's just lotion. It isn't anything special or unique. It's a scam. We will get to the moisturizer that I use. It really doesn't matter, because I'll tell you what does matter, what's important, are your actives. Now, when did I start to see some real success with my skin? No, before I start with that, I want you to know I'm never satisfied with it. And I'm always thinking, oh, it's bad. But then I will get comments and now voicemails like this going, how did you do it? And I'll share what I know. And I will say that when I look back at pictures, even for myself, like 8 years ago, I'll go, ooh, I was not on the trajectory I'm at today. And so how did I get here? Let's go back. A big thing, and I think the most important thing, is I started using tretinoin. Okay. And I started at the lowest prescription level strength, which is 0.025%. You have to go to the dermatologist to get a prescription for it. But I remember that when I paid for this prescription for the first time, it was $10, which is cheaper than most products that you can get at the drugstore. But it's prescription level. There are so many studies, and you're going to hear so many people going, you're going to start to look waxy. But look at their skin. They look like shit. So don't listen to them. Or they're wearing Vaseline going, look at my glassy skin. Who cares? They are not referencing any studies or any sort of medical text. They're just saying, I saw somebody look waxy. And I'm telling you, they all look like shit. People who say, it's just not for me. Yeah, obviously, because you haven't been using it, obviously. You don't look good. It's always the same kind of person going, it's not for me. It should be for you, but you just don't want to do it because you're gonna get something called the retinoids. What are the retinoids? Well, when you start to use tretinoin, which is a retinoid, it helps with the cell turnover. So the skin cells of the face are going to turn over quickly, which will sometimes lead to a bit of a breakout here or there. And sometimes it'll lead to some irritation. So when you're using tretinoin, you've got to it's a living, breathing experience. Because when you start to get a little bit too irritated, you just skip a day or two and you recover and then you start up again. But you can't quit because it's the only product proven to truly reverse, I say in quotes, the signs of aging. It's the gold standard. It's really the only thing that matters. There are two things that matter. You've got to get tretinoin and you've got to be wearing sunscreen every day, even if you're inside. Those UV rays are coming in through the fucking windows. It's not a joke. This is not a drill. You've got to wear sunscreen. And I know you don't want to. I know you're thinking, I could get a gorgeous, beautiful tan. You could. But you could also get a melanoma. And you don't want that. You just want to wear sunscreen. Most sunscreens suck. And for a while, I was using a sunscreen called Elta MD. Now, if you see the tint of the Elta MD, you'll go, well, is this just for somebody who has jaundice? Because there's one shade, and it's a shade that I don't think has ever been anybody's natural skin tone. And so I just really couldn't get into the Elta MD. But I used it for years because it's sort of like the gold standard of American sunscreens. But so I needed to do a little bit of research. And the research that I did led me to Korean sunscreens. There is a sunscreen that I use called Beauty of Joseon. And it just feels like a thin, light moisturizer. It doesn't feel like sticky, gloppy, gloopy like your normal American sunscreens. When I'm wearing an American sunscreen, it feels like I'm wearing an American sunscreen. The UV filters and regulations haven't been updated in the United States for many, many years. And there is a reason And before I get to the reason, I'm going to say they have been updated in Asia. So they have more advanced skin protection options. If you want this sunscreen, you have to order it from Asia. Because if you go on Amazon and you search for Beauty of Joseon, you'll get an American formulation of the product, which that's not exactly what you want. You want the Korean version. So I go on this website called stylevana.com, I think. I don't know. If you look it up, you'll find it. And I order in bulk sunscreens. Sunscreens for the body, sunscreens for the face. Now, for the body, I'm getting something called Nivea Water Gel. Okay? And I'm also getting something called Derma B. These sunscreens just feel like light lotion. But the Beauty of Joseon is the one that I like for the face. You really can't go wrong. But like I said, the sunscreen, that's your gold standard. Even if you're like, I don't like tretinoin. Okay, great. I'll get off your case on the tretinoin. But you got to wear the sunscreen. The sunscreen is not negotiable. Truly, all you need to do in the morning is I wash my face. I use a rose water toner, which I can just get at Whole Foods. And then I do the snail mucin, which I really do love. I think that snail mucin is awesome. Now, if you're gonna get the CosRx snail mucin, this is the hack. You have to order it through Costco because I don't remember how much it is per bottle, but it's really not that crazy. It's maybe like $15 a bottle, or maybe, I don't know, it's somewhere around there. But at Costco, it's like $20 for 3 of them. Okay? You've got to go into your Costco app and order it through Costco. That's where you're going to get the best deal on the CosRx. Okay? You heard it from me here. Also, I will say, if you just are like, I am not ordering sunscreen from Asia, what do I recommend? One thing I don't recommend is the CeraVe sunscreen. I think is the worst sunscreen. It's like Sherwin-Williams. It's that thick. It's awful. It's truly like, if I had more time, I would do a class action suit against them for that sunscreen because it's awful. But if I had to suggest one where you're like, I have to buy it in the US, good for you. Elta MD for the face, and I think it's Beach Bum is the best one that I've used. That feels the most like a lotion. But you're going to smell like a coconut. Like, why do you need to smell like a coconut? Okay? Because these are being marketed to just wear this at the beach. They're not thinking about the UV rays coming in through your windows. And I am. And you know who else is? People in Asia. They are thinking about UV all the time. And so am I. And so should you. So I'm washing my face with CeraVe. Usually I'm using like the foamy cleanser. It's like that light green bottle. But sometimes I'm using the one with salicylic acid in it. Because my skin can pretty much withstand anything at this point. What else? But it really doesn't matter. So I'm doing a face wash, then I'm doing a little bit of rose water toner just to dampen the face up again, and then I put the snail mucin on. I let that sit for a second, and then I put the sunscreen on. I do absolutely look like a grease ball freak, but it'll go down a bit. And also, who cares? I absolutely don't. Now let's get to the night routine. So to make sure that I get the sunscreen off, I gotta break it down. So I use an oil cleanser. Now, what oil cleanser do I recommend? Well, I recommend, if you are a Costco member, look for a Korean oil cleanser because you'll get a good deal on it. And also, at the end of the day, it's something you're putting on your face to wash it off immediately. Doesn't really matter, right? So I start with the oil cleanser because that's just going to break up all the sunscreen in the dirt. And then I wash my face with the CeraVe again. At this point, you get out of the shower, and this is when you put the tretinoin on, or you put a lotion on over that. But the tretinoin is the most important part. But I will do on other days something that I do see as my holy grail product. And for me, that is, and this is a game changer for when I shave. Now, I don't shave every day. My face, I'm talking about. Now, I don't shave every day, but I shave every few days. And I used to have such awful sensitive skin. I used to get awful razor burn, ingrown hairs in the beard. Awful. Truly, truly terrible stuff. I have like a little ingrown hair over on the other side, but you can't see it, and I'm not going to show it to you. But I didn't know really how to shave because I wasn't really taught. I just knew that like I needed to shave my face. But I'm going to say this. If you have irritation in the beard, you don't need to use the Mach 5, the Mach 12. There's 12 blades on this razor. You don't need that. I get a razor that has 2 blades on it because the one that has 1 blade on it just feels way too reckless. So I have the 2 blades. And when you're shaving, because I was just copying what I had seen in like a Nivea commercial. Now, if you have sensitive skin and you're shaving, you should shave in super short strokes, like stroke, 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 instead of like long sweeping strokes of like, from your top of your cheek down to the bottom of your jaw, like stroke, right? You should be doing short, 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 short on your way down. It's going to lead to less irritation. Okay, so that's the way that you're going to shave. And when do you shave? You shave when you get out of the shower. I know it feels like you don't want to do that, but what you want to do is you want to make sure your face is clean before you're dragging a razor across it. And I know it feels like it makes sense to like, let me shave and then I'll get in the shower and wash that off. I know you're going to want to do that, but that's not the way that you're going to do it now, okay? So you're going to shave when you get out of the shower because you've cleaned your face and you're not dragging your razor across your dirty fucking face because you don't want to do that. And so once you've done that, you're going to kind of just rinse the shaving cream off. And this was the game changer for me is I started using these Dr. Dennis Gross chemical peel pads. This is probably the priciest thing that I will shell out for. And I recommend you waiting for a holiday or some sale on Amazon or whatever and buy it in bulk then. It will be much cheaper. But until then, just buy them as you need them. And I will use these after I shave. I will do a chemical peel after I shave. And on a night like that, that's when I won't use the tretinoin. I'll give my skin a break. And maybe even the next day, even if I'm not shaving or using the chemical peel, I'll give myself like a break before I go back to the tret before I need to shave again. But it's these chemical peels have made the biggest difference in the beard line because I really would get these ingrown hairs that were awful. And I feel like it's made my skin more consistent. I like the snail mucin. That's just something I use every day. I think it's totally per your preference because I think if you think you look a little too greasy during the day, don't use it. Don't use it. Use it at night, but don't use it during the day if you don't want to. Now, on the days that you're not doing anything, or if you feel like your skin is just like getting sensitive, back up, right? Like stop using the actives and just use things that are like moisturizing and hydrating. And if you really want to hydrate, the best thing you can do is you can do your skincare, which like, let's just say you're doing face wash, splash your face with a little water, then put the snail mucin on, then you put a moisturizer on or any serum you have or whatever. It doesn't matter. Once the moisturizer is on, you should do something to kind of seal that in. The best thing you can use is like a pea-size amount of Vaseline, right? Or you can go to Trader Joe's or you can get Palmer's face oil. Like Palmer's is the best lotion. Palmer's is fantastic. Palmer's body lotion, Palmer's body oil You take a shower, you're done with that shower, you put the body oil on, you just pat yourself dry with your towel. You will be absolutely floored at how game-changing it is for your ashy ass skin, right? Black people talk about having ashy skin because they can see the ash. But I'm going to tell you something about white people is that they have ashy skin too, but they can't see it because their skin is the shade of a chicken raw cutlet. So you can't see the ash on their skin, but it's ashy and you need to put lotion on and stop being absolutely ridiculous. It's sticky. Who cares if it's sticky? You are flaking. There are skin flakes like breadcrumbs, a trail. I can find you if you were to get lost. Gotta put the lotion on. Not negotiable. But yeah, face oil. You can get like a face oil at Trader Joe's. It'll be like $6. I really like the Rose Palmer's face oil. I think that's a great one. But truly the gold standard, a little bit of Vaseline. And not like I'm slugging with a ton. You don't want to do that. Just like a little pea-size amount will go absolutely such a long way. So yeah, let's just sit and make that list. A face wash, any kind. Sunscreen. I prefer Korean. I think oil cleanser, the same face wash as before. And tretinoin. Okay? And you're going to need those Dr. Dennis Gross peels too. You're going to want those too. And then Vaseline. That's it. It's pretty easy because those active ingredients that you're going to use for like skin cell turnover are so effective that, whatever. And there are different products for different things. Sometimes I also use a little bit of azelaic acid. It helps with like redness and whatever. But, I kind of cycle those things in and out. But the things that I mentioned those are the most important things. And before I finish, I want to say don't get it twisted because I also get a little help here and there. I love to get some microneedling done. I think microneedling is great. I do get Botox and I love to get some facial lasers. But the downside to the facial lasers is that you have to stop using the active ingredients, so like the tretinoin and the peels. So you stop using them for like a week or two before, and then you get the procedure, and then you recover from that for about a week, and then you start up again. And I think the lasers and the medical procedures are really, really effective. But if you're not into them, the tretinoin. And you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. But I do love a good procedure. I want you to know that. I don't want you to get it twisted. Love going to the medical spa. But you can't go every day. And so when you're not going, you can save your money on the products, right? Tretinoin, sunscreen. Those are your two main ingredients. And I think I've just gone so hard on it. That might be the only voicemail for today. I truly feel like it's the only thing I have wherewithal for. Sniff. Bell. Another bell. Bing, bing, bing. And I think that's it for me for this episode. Very educational. Now, before we go, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast by Adam Rippon, which will eventually be renamed to, at some point, Intrusive Thoughts. We'll get there. I promise that we will. I'm not ready to, pull the plug. I'm not ready to make the jump, but we'll get there. Like I said, let's just get through the first 10. Let's just see if I can commit to 10 episodes. I'm on my way. This is episode 7 already. My God. But like I said, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast by Adam Rippon. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you'd like to call us, you can. Our phone number is 310-909-7117. Give us a call, leave a voicemail, and maybe you'll hear it here on the podcast. We will see you next time. Thank you again so much. We love you. Wear your sunscreen, because the UV rays, They're coming, and it's, like I said, it's serious. Until next time, bye everybody.